We're in McKinney, Texas, as the 2024 Lone Star Conference Football Media Day is winding down, and I get a chance to visit with Coach Chris Fisk from Central Washington. Coach, let's start with last year. You know, a fantastic season, playoff run. On top of that, a couple of playoff wins, making all the way to the Super Regional Championship. Tell us a little bit about last year.
It was special. I think it was one of those years where we experienced some of the lowest points of our program, and then we experienced some of the highest parts. And so it'll go down in the history books as a great year, but, you know, it really doesn't do anything for you moving forward this year outside of that we gained a lot of experience through that. So we'll take those experience pieces and build on them.
Well, players that are experienced are a couple that were honored here today in McKinney. You have the Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year preseason in both categories, and the media, the coaches seem to think a lot about those two young men.
Yeah, I think it's a nod to our recruiting efforts and the type of student athlete that we recruit. I think that anytime you get those votes, whether it's the conference team votes or the individual votes, and people put you up for those, it's an honor. People think a lot of what you're doing and a lot of those young men, but at the end of the day, the guy who won the Offensive Player of the Year last year doesn't play for us anymore, and so you don't really worry about those things. All you control is that we're going to get up Monday morning, we're going to have one heck of a lifting session and get ready for fall camp.
All right. By the way, I don't want to neglect mentioning Tyler Flanagan and Tanner Volk by name, who were recognized preseason-wise as the Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year, respectively. But they're not the only ones returning. You have 16 more returners coming back to this year. What kind of a luxury is that?
Well, football's a game of experience and repetition, so when you've got that experience and repetition coming back, you definitely have a leg up on teams that maybe don't have that. But as you saw here today, listening to all the Lone Star teams, it feels like almost everybody was young last year. And so I think, again, you have your work cut out in this conference. That experience doesn't trump a lot of what else is going on in this conference.
Well, Coach, picked at the top of the preseason ranking here. If Central Washington is able to do what at least some of the folks here expect you all to do, that would be the first conference championship in the Lone Star Conference for the Wildcats. What would that mean?
Well, I think it would mean an awful lot for our school and our university and to our kids and the boosters. But again, I'll take a nod from Coach Maskell. My first year here at the Lone Star Conference Media Day is it really doesn't mean anything. It's quite an honor because I think that shows what people think of your program that are in the conference, whether it's the media or the coaches. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot of work to do to go prove it right.
And that work gets started on a Saturday on the road, September 7th, as you all will take on an FCS opponent going down to play at San Diego. Talk about the opening to your season.
Yeah, it's going to be an improved ball club. You know, it seems like we've got about 5 teams on our schedule with second-year staffs that are working hard and they're improving every step of the way. And Coach Moore down there at USD, I'm sure he'll have those boys ready to go and ready for the Wildcats when we roll in. But it's a great opportunity. I think you got an awesome place to go play in San Diego. A destination place to go play, and our kids will be fired up for it.
Absolutely. The preseason favorite, Central Washington, here in 2024 in McKinney, Texas at the Lone Star Conference Football Media Day. Coach Chris Fisk, thank you very much for taking time with us. We're going to follow the Wildcats this season.
Thank you. Go Cats.